Hello, hello. How are you? Congrats on the new kitty blossom. I hope things are going well for you. Oh, hello, Delise. It is lovely to see you. Also, hi to Cordelia and Danny is here. And I think I hit everybody. But if I did not say hello, hello, welcome. It is good to see you. Hope everybody is doing well. I had Blossom's comment up earlier because I remember when my cats were very young and were first exploring the house. It's funny you're here tonight, Cordelia. I actually thought of you because I wound up getting the. I was one evening just minding my own business in a crafty D-stash group, and someone accidentally had bought 2 copies of the Spellbinders Advent. So we actually have that to do this year too. So that will be fun. But I did get some happy mail, and I thought we could do craft roulette as well because it's an interesting mix of parameters this week. I also got these that are kind of Jana's fault. These are basically like lunar paste. They're the cat scrappiness metallic mousse thingies, so I'm interested to play with those. We'll see if I next time I want to do a wet method thing. But I got some mail from Smoky Stephen Mark, which is a YouTube channel I've been a fan of for a long, long time. Mark does crafty videos on what used to be Mondays, but now it kind of depends. But I'm curious because I haven't. I've interacted with them via YouTube, but I haven't interacted with them in real life in a while. So I'm curious what we have here. We have. Figured you'd get a kick out of these. Oh, cool. So they do this whole camp series. Oh, this is really neat. So, oh, that's cool. And the lanyard. I wondered what this thing was because I could feel it, but I was very curious. That is super neat. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And yeah, they do a camp theme series. I want to say it was originally inspired by like horror movie camps and stuff like that, but it's just sort of morphed into its own thing, and it's not really spooky. It's just sort of there. It's their content, but it makes for some pretty funny skits. But anyway, I think they're links usually in the description. So if it's not, it's probably somewhere. But I'll throw it in this description if it's not there. But I think it's one of the other things. You get a scare on Friday. Alyssa got out. Yeah, my cats have gotten out. I mean, my cats have never really gotten out. Like they've walked outside while I've been doing things, but they always come back in for food. Hello, Lala. I hope you are well. It is good to see you. See what else? Oh, hey, Jim. How are you? Good to see you as well. But I thought we could play around with Craft Roulette, and this may or may not be a long one. We'll see. Oh, I should mention, you may probably saw it already, but I made this card for Delise actually, but also for Oso Inspired. Oh, this is Lennox. Hi, welcome, sir. You're obscuring people's view of my beautiful card with your chunkiness, but it's fine. He's giving me a look. Anyway, it didn't. I was a little sad the photography on the actual stenciling didn't come out as well as I would like, but anyway. Also Inspired was live on the 20th, so feel free to go check it out. And if your name is Delise, whoops, let's move him. Oh, goodness, sir. Interrupting the camera and doing all the things. Wow. That will be in the Delise, this will be in the mail to you at some point soon. And even the cute. I may decorate the inside though, because I haven't done that. I have a bunch of cards I should mail out. I actually mailed out my swap cards, which was good because they were like due on the 15th, but those got in the mail this week. Yeah, I know you're a pink and gray fan. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? Good to see you as well. I'm likely streaming with Elizabeth on Wednesday, assuming she's not having power issues, so I may be over on her channel on Wednesday. I may be over on Lala's channel on Saturday for our faith journaling that I had to reschedule because last week was crazy. But anywho, let's talk about craft roulette and not talk about adult stuff because that's less interesting. So parameters this week were interesting. Square card, which is pretty straightforward. Dairy Isle colors, which could be whatever you want. You may notice there is a lot of orange here. I was inspired by the crookedness of my camera. No, just kidding. By the pumpkin pie spice creamers that come out that I buy every year. And I actually looked up a reference photo of one, which I forgot to upload. But if you Google pumpkin pie creamer, it is very orange. So I thought this would be good. I think the wild card parameter, and leaves is the element. The wild card parameter was, or I should say the random was hexagons, which I thought was challenging until I realized I had this fun stencil I almost never use. I think this was a Simon Hurley. Elizabeth can tell us because she owns a lot of his stuff. But my thought is we'll kind of add another layer to this pattern, probably with some ginger ink, and then figure out what the rest of the card looks like. I did also pull something else. Yeah, well, interestingly, like next Saturday is really good for me because next Saturday is my mother's birthday. So I normally see my parents in the mornings on Saturday, but we're doing a thing in the evening. But I thought Happy Fall would be a good sentiment because I have these huge fall sentiments from Pink and Maine that I've only used a little bit. Which is a shame. I have their Christmas and their normal ones. These are pretty awesome because, as you can see, they're big. So, like, you just need, like, the sentiment and pattern paper, and you have a card basically done. Anywho, Brighter Minds Than Mine suggested that a 5-inch card will be mailable in the U.S. for no additional postage. So, I think I want a slightly less than that square, and I'm thinking some kind of a brown card base, but we shall see. So I'm just going to cut a square at 4 3/4. And this is some not too shabby paper that Shanna made me buy. Well, not made me buy, but showcased, and then I bought it because it's cute. And what else is worth mentioning? Oh, Shanna is not going live tonight, but is back next week. So we will be back to our regularly scheduled blocks next Sunday, I think. And yeah, I think this will look neat. I'm thinking if we go over this with ginger, I didn't want to totally case Mary's card, but I kind of like, if we offset this a little bit, we can have basically only whole diamonds, which I kind of like. But we could just center this too. I may do that. And even though I have the stamp wheel that does the thingies with the stencils, I always just flip it over and tape it because I always feel like sometimes I get kind of heavy-handed and then it's a little bit trickier. What am I missing? Jeez, Elizabeth, are you not the Oh, you're talking about her house issues. Sorry, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were just teasing her, Cordelia, on not being like the index of all Simon Hurley products since the dawn of forever. Yes, I would be. I think I would be kind of concerned about electrical related stuff. And I do like the mint tape for this because you don't wind up ripping it. It's very similar to my beloved Post-it tape, although slightly taggier than the Post-it tape. So it actually holds stuff pretty well. But I'm just going to tape this everywhere and see if my idea works out or doesn't. And if I have some scrap paper. Yeah, I mean, this isn't really scrap paper, but I tend to like the ink blend on top of something, or like ink on top of something, just to not wreck my desk. So let's find, this looks orangey-ish. So we will see how this looks. I think I will like this because I really like this color. But I don't know that I've inked on top of the not too shabby paper ever, so I'm kind of curious how it works out because it's sort of a semi-gloss paper. And I like that it's not completely obstructing the design. So we're still going to be able to see through it, which is kind of the nice thing about dyes because they're semi-translucent. Here I got kind of heavy-handed. I don't actually mind this because I don't think I'm really going for like a perfectly done kind of look here anyway. But I do like the more saturated diamonds a lot. And then we get to do the fun reveal part where we see if what we did makes sense or not. But essentially, I could, if I wasn't using a stencil, I could just tone this whole thing down with a brown because it basically is removing the white entirely. And I think I'm going to go back in this section just because I would like a little bit more. Yeah. Because the paper's gloss, I don't think I really am going to build up any layers here, but I think it'll look neat. Anyway, let's see how we did. And one little cheat you probably know if you stencil a good bit is what we can do is try and leave one of these intact so that if we want to put this down again and work some more, we can. And ooh, that's really cool. I like that. Okay, I'm not mad about this. This bottom corner, I would like to hit a little bit more if I can line this up again. I'm just going to cheat a little and just grab a little more ink because the bottom didn't quite, oops. Yeah, the bottom didn't quite get as inky as the top. So I just want to come back in a little bit and help it. There we go. There we are. That looks cool. Let me just let this dry. This is sort of our final product. I like it. I think this will be really good with big sentiment on it too. So I may just run that route and make it a pretty straightforward card. What you could also do if you wanted to do a cleanup on a stencil like this is you can just mist it. I'm gonna clean it off, but you could also just mist this and then put a piece of non-coated paper on top, and you get sort of a well, you can almost see what we're getting here, right? You basically get a slightly blurry version of the stencil, which can be kind of neat. Okay, that worked out quite well. Let me get my extra paper out of the way. And now that we know what color this is, we can try and figure out what sort of a card base we want. I'm thinking brown, but you know. Let me go and I can put this back so you can see what that looks like. But I really like that. That's kind of fun. And I like that on like you can really see the leaves through here, even though and it looks like you can almost see that like the toneriness of the leaves stop the ink. So if you could just I wonder if you could take a dry one of these baby wipes and like buff it off. How do you get a brand new dry baby wipes? Don't ask. But let's see if we're pulling up any ink. Let's just buff that off and see if it buffs off. A little bit does. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, like I think these areas it buffed off a little bit from these areas with the more heavy toner, so that's pretty neat. And I believe this kind of like a lot of these heavier cardstock papers, you can actually foil if you want to. I think the stencil's still available. I like it because this Art Deco, or I guess I should say, this extended hexagon looks very Art Deco-y to me. Let's find some paper. Thinking that would look really pretty. And you could do a whole series of these pretty easily. Like if you just wanted to do note cards, essentially. So I know I want 5 inches and 10 inches, basically, to make a square. I think I can just take 1 inch off and not have to unfold my trimmer. We'll see how that works out in a minute, but because this is 8.5 by 11, so this is 5, and we score. I think we will. Ooh, that worked out nicely. You probably will want to put some kind of a piece on the inside, of course. And you have the ephemera that goes with this that we may wind up cheating and using because that will make this pretty easy to decorate. I do kind of want to do the happy fall. I think because ooh, I like that. That's pretty. We could do a nice little top fold. I think we could cut the layering piece out of this and then figure out what color we want to pull. We could do white, actually. I think we could do something like a white that would be. I mean, I already did a card that was this color combo and really liked it. So, like, I think this with white would look really nice as the sentiment. And there's already white in the paper, so it kind of makes sense in my head. I think I will do that. We catch up on your commentary. Pumpkins are definitely great. I'm a fan of pumpkins. Okay, so the pumpkin product I don't understand, in the interest of full transparency, is the pumpkin spice toilet paper. Or not really toilet paper, but like, personal wipes. Like, I don't know who wants that on a number of different levels, but yeah. Some stuff is like marginal for me. Like pumpkin spice oatmeal to me is sort of like that one says thank you, not happy fall. So there's some stuff that I'm like, yeah, I can see why you would want that, but yeah, there's other things that I'm like, I don't know who this is for. Let's see if I can't brave the strongest double stick tape in the world. There we go. In theory, we can cut both of these at once since sadly these fantastic sentiments always wind up slightly too like these are oh, this would actually work. Oh well. Let's see if let's do this on my little one. I don't have to. Have as much going on. But yeah. So yeah, like some of the pumpkin spice products make sense. Others I'm like, who is this for? And I think this will die cut these out almost in a single piece. I think the happy and the fall are separate, but I don't think I have to paper piece a bunch of letters, which makes me happy. Because really, on like a Sunday night, having to paper piece letters is not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, if these are all connected, I'm going to be like a super happy boy. They are not. But the happy, sorry, the appy, the H, and the fall, I believe. Oh, the F is also not connected. Well, that's sad. I think we'll have to use our. Oh, I do have my tool. So there we go. The F, the H, and the all, and the appy. But still, we're not paper piecing every letter. Someone at my crop did a project like that, and I was like, oh, I love your project, but I wish I didn't have to paper piece every single letter. I think I can get away with. Can I get away with this? Yes, barely. There we go. The more reasonable way to do this would be to actually use a larger die cut machine, but you know, some days we're a little like, it's probably fine. We'll catch up on what you folks are saying. But I like these dies because then you get this one, and while there's not an emboss line to tell you where to put anything, I think we can figure it out. And then it's just two passes to basically die cut everything. We have the FVH, the all, and the appy. So I think we can. This should be pretty. It should be pretty straightforward once we. There we go. And the shape edges, of course, make this pretty easy to line up. And so I think we can just put our 3 pieces on pretty easily. Whoop. Gold. What's gold? Stencil is honey hive. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, the pumpkin. Yeah, the pumpkin spice deodorant I don't get either. Like, I feel like if you walked by someone in the office and they smelled like pumpkin spice, it would be weird. Yes, that's true, Cordelia. Oh, that's interesting. I like pumpkin as a vegetable too. I mean, like, tiny medicine is fine. What? Yeah, I like that. The cat scrappiness ones are nice for that because they're almost all connected. Oh, and I got my boo from cat scrappiness that looked spooky, which I have a couple cards I want to make with that. Uh, assuming I am one of those people who gets cards for Halloween done before Halloween. And I still have whatever a day, several days worth of my spellbinders. I think it's not technically called a countdown calendar, but their countdown calendar for Halloween. That's gonna look cute. I like that color combo a lot. Hi, sir. Where are you, Scooch? The cat is pawing the Halloween advent calendar. I think he is displeased that we are taking a break from Halloween. Anyway, I mean, we're not really taking a break from Halloween, but for this specific card. I was naughty and went shopping at Scrappy Tails again and bought more Halloween stuff. That, like, even after my earlier commentary that I never use my Halloween products, but I think it was Elizabeth. I mean, one of my other swaps, I think, does a nice job too of like asking people if they're pro Halloween or not. I think I was talking with Lala, or it might have been Helen from Crafty Mama Diaries, where they were saying like Halloween is kind of a newer thing in Asia, so adults don't get into it the way adults get into Halloween here. Although, according to my mother, and she's probably correct, like in the 90s, adults really didn't get into Halloween here either, but it's a fairly recent phenomenon. I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, but it probably is at least somewhat true. Once we get this together, then we can cheat and use all of our ephemera to make it look like I spent a really long time on this card. Well, I suppose if you didn't watch the channel and didn't, there we go. But the really nice thing about these particular Pink and Main sentiments to me is like they're very mass producible, and you can, so especially if you use a foil cardstock for the words, they're really nice for Christmas. But let's see how big this is. I think we're going to wind up with a lot of room to decorate, which is probably good because I have a lot of ephemera I haven't used. The interesting thing is, like, because this is a square card, like, just sticking the sentiment in the middle kind of makes sense. But let me let that dry. Let me cut an inside piece and get our panels attached, and then we can think about what we want to do for the rest of this. But yeah, I'm very pro pumpkin, or just pro winter squash in general. But as Delise can probably tell you, like in southern Wisconsin, it's been like in the mid 80s for the last 2 weeks, which makes it a little hard to get into a super duper fall mood. There we go. But I don't know. Hopefully it will be fall at some point. You love winter. Oh, ooh, that sounds nice. I don't think I've ever had it with sweet potatoes. That's a really good idea. There's our inside bit. And you could use that same Hive something stencil, since Elizabeth looked it up for us. Like if you use that with like an actual wet product like a lunar paste, I think it would be a cool look too. I like these going up and down, and this pattern is sort of directional, but sort of not directional, which is kind of interesting. There we go. So we have the basics of a card together, at least. Not sure what we'll do with that. Let me grab. Oh, this might be all the ephemera. All my pumpkins. Here's all my pumpkins. We have many pumpkins, but there's some bigger pieces of ephemera in here, which I am just straight up terrible at using big pieces of ephemera. So let's see if we can't use some of those. We used this in a previous card. Like if there were a whole bunch of these, it would be kind of I do like the wagon with the pumpkins. Kind of like these two together because you could just sort of hang them off a little bit, and they're both very pumpkiny. And then like Happy Fall, like I kind of like that. I kind of want something in the middle though. Oh, here we go. Some more pumpkins. Ooh, I like that. That looks cool. Where we have sort of our pumpkin. Although even though it kind of screws up the perspective lines, actually we could put the that works. Like if we do it like that, I think it works pretty nicely. Let me catch up on what y'all are saying. Oh, hey Shanna, how are you? We missed you the last 2 weeks. I hope last week and then this week. I hope things are going well and you've had fun travels. Oh, hey Regan, nice to see you as well. Oh, thanks, Lala. Yeah, I'm planning to pop the sentiment up. I don't really like it flat, and I feel like the sentiment's kind of the focal point anyway. So like, I think it'll really look like that because I have a roll of foam tape as big as my head, and now I have scissors so that it can cut it. So let me get the ephemera glued down, and we'll see if we can't futz with that. And why don't we keep? Let's pick something for the inside because these ephemera packs have like a 11 bajillion pieces. Ooh, I like this truck. Let's do the truck on the inside. Oh, thank you, Shanna. I always forget to do the YouTubey things. But yeah. So I think I just want to glue the. I feel like I want to try stenciling on top of this not too shabby paper more because I really like the effect, which I don't know how well it reads on camera, but in real life, the effect is neat. If you are one of these people who has issues with the white bordered ephemera, I actually think it works well with the sentiment in this particular case, but um, you could actually use more of that ink and just ink the ephemera edges to match the card more precisely. Like that. That's fun. Uh, yeah, I like that. That's a cute little. It's a very farmy vignette. I guess we could put our little truck on the inside while we're here too. Oh, what is the paper escape, Lala? I don't think I've heard of it. Or I could look at Regan's channel later and probably watch it get unboxed because I do enjoy an unboxing. Remember to put our pin back in our glue. You don't wreck a glue bottle. I think Lynn was talking about it on her live stream this week, or made reference to it or something. So I will have to check that out. Let's see. So let's pop up our sentiment, and I feel like it doesn't need much more bling because between the stenciling and the paper, the background is fairly busy already. And I'm just loving these Fiskars non-stick serrated scissors. They're just fantastic for foam tape. I think Shannon or someone told me that there's Spellbinders ones that are similar. But yeah, I have this much foam tape. And I've been working on this for a while. Because oddly, I sometimes forget to remember to like pop stuff up. Now this H is a little, like the H is going to be a little tricky just because I need a really thin piece of foam tape to do that. This would probably be a good candidate if you use that glue gel stuff, which I have never tried. But then what you can do is flip it over and make sure you're not looking at any foam tape, which I don't see. So this is going to pop up like this, which I think is going to be a lot better. Give it some fun little dimension. Let me catch up on what are we talking about? Let's see. Oh, cool. Neat. I will check out your channel and look at the video on it. Yeah, like I don't hate them in this car. I understand why people sometimes don't like the white borders. But I feel like if white is in the card, it's not nearly as noticeable. I understand if you're doing like a Halloween card and the whole thing was like black and gray, that like maybe you don't want a white border on your ephemera. So, you know, like if you don't push down the foam tape, even after the backer is removed, you can futz around with it a little bit. I like it about like here. Yeah, so now I will push that down. There we are. We have our look and see if we hit all of our parameters. But let me catch up on what Lala is saying. It's about coming up soon. Okay, well, I will definitely check that out. Yeah, it reminds me a lot. I don't know where I put it. I did a fall postcard, and it reminded me a lot of that. I mean, I think Not Too Shabby has a nice look when it comes to just like making the pattern paper do the work. But I will probably put this in the mail to somebody while it is still fall, because although I think I've done all my fall swaps, so I will probably go into one of the various racks that I'm in just because it's fun. But let's see. Run through our parameters, and I did. Well, if you look at my community, I guess there's two other announcements. One is I'll be live on Halloween. You may have seen the post about that. I may or may not be. Well, that's a lie. I will be dressing up as something, so we all have that to look forward to. But I'll be back over on Craft Roulette on Halloween, and I am very excited about that. So, speaking of Craft Roulette, before Lennox wants to steal the show again, it is a square card. It has pumpkin pie spice dairy color, creamer dairy isle colors. It has a whole bunch of leaves, both here, also in the ephemera. and it's got a bunch of hexagons. So I think we are pretty much good with our parameters. It is using not quite craft, but my second favorite fall color after craft, which is sort of sort of a pecan brown or pecan. Cordelia can enlighten us as to proper pronunciation. But so yeah, I think that came out pretty well. Yeah, I think I told you about all the stuff this week. I'll be over on Elizabeth's channel unless the internet melts on Wednesday. We'll be doing something spooky. We gave each other stuffs in the mail that we can probably craft with together. To whatever degree we want. It'll be one of those loose, like, use it as inspiration kind of things. And then I'll be over on Lala's channel on Saturday. That'll be at 8 in the morning. And then we'll be back here on Sunday. So it'll be a pretty streamy week. But I think it'll be fun. It'll be a bunch of different things. So feel free to pick what stuff you find interesting. Yep. So the real parameters were square card, dairy aisle colors. The project was a square card. The colors were dairy aisle. The element was leaf or leaves. And the random was hexagon. Yeah, Lennox is taking over the show. The funny thing is, like, the camera thing wants to make everything brighter when Lennox is here. Like, if I hold the card up, right, like, you can see that it'll darken him in the background up. Anyway, auto brightness, auto adjusting cameras are quite the thing. But anyway, it was great to see you guys. I will see you, I think, Wednesday next, but who knows? There's always the possibility that I might pop on at a weird random time. Lennox hopes you have a lovely rest of your week, as do I. And no Shannon this week, but she will be back next week. So good to see you all. Hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you later.